Welcome to the All-Star Math Video Tutor. This is Mr. Easter, and the topic of this lesson is solving equations by multiplying fractions. Remember, we got to keep both sides of our equations balanced. Our goal in this equation is to solve for a, but how do we move the 5 to the other side? Well, some teachers say you can give it a leg, which is just like a 1, which turns 5a into a fraction. 5 over 1, which is still 5. To move it to the opposite side, to get rid of it from the a, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Well, what is the reciprocal? The reciprocal is the opposite of a fraction where the numerator and the denominator trade places. So if we were to multiply by the reciprocal in this equation, we would multiply by 1/5. The neat thing about the reciprocal of any fraction is that when you multiply a fraction and its reciprocal together, it will always end up equaling 1. For example, if I took the fraction, say 1/2, and I multiplied it by its reciprocal, 2 over 1, I will end up with 2 on top, 2 on the bottom, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. And this works for any fraction, just like 5 over 1 or 1/5. So because of this rule, my 1's cancel out on this side and my 5's cancel out. And now all I have to do is multiply on the right side of my equal sign, and I'm going to get a equals 1 times 1, over 7 times 5, which is 35, which is in its fully simplified form. Now we're going to take a look at some practice problems. Our first one is 9y equals 5 over 7. Again, we can put a 1 under the 9, making it an improper fraction. And to get rid of our 9 over 1, we can multiply by our reciprocal. 1 over 9. The same thing on the opposite side. 1 over 9. Our 1's will cancel out. Our 9's will cancel out. We'll be left with y equals 5/7 times 1 over 9, which will give us 5 over 63, which is in its fully simplified form. Our next example involves a mixed number. 2 1/8 k equals 7. We need to take our 2 1/8, which is our mixed number, and turn it into an improper fraction. We can do that by multiplying our 2 and our 8, which is 16, and then adding our 1 to it, which gives us 17, over 8, which was our original denominator. If we apply that to our problem over here, we'll get 17 over 8 k equals 7. Now again, our 7 over here is not a fraction, so to make it a fraction, we can put a 1 underneath it. And to get rid of our 17 over 8, we can multiply by the reciprocal, which is 8 over 17. Same thing on the right side. Our 8's will cancel out. Our 17's will cancel out. On top, we're going to get 56. And on the bottom, we're going to get 17. Now this is an improper fraction, so to change it into a mixed number, we know that 17 goes into 56 3 times. We have 5 left over in our numerator, and 17 is still our denominator. 3 and 5/17. So it's important to change that mixed number into an improper fraction. It's a little bit easier to work with. Our last example is 2 over 3y equals -8. Even though 8 is negative, we can still put a 1 underneath it to turn it into a fraction. To get rid of our 2/3, which is next to the y, we're going to multiply by our reciprocal, 3 over 2. Same thing on the right side. Remember, when we multiply, we lose our 3's, we lose our 2's, we're left with y. On the top, we have a -8 times 3, which a negative times a positive is a negative, 24. On the bottom, we have 1 times 2, which is 2. And if we simplify this into its simplest form, we would get y equals -12. This is the end of this All-Star Math video lesson. Thank you.